Hello, hey, it's Brother Harold. Get Ready Ministries with you again this week. So glad to be with you. It's a joyous time, a time of talking about the Lord and His coming. And, that's what this ministry is all about, to sound the alarm, get the word out. Hey, get ready, because Jesus is coming. Yeshua, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, is coming to planet Earth to rule and reign for 1,000 years. But folks, we're at the doorstep of His coming, and we need to be prepared. We need to know the signs of the times, and we're living in those times today. Knowledge has not increased for hundreds of years. But all of a sudden, in the last 100 years, it accelerated from the horse and buggy all the way to the moon. The advancement of computers everywhere, even on this website you're watching me on. The internet now is everywhere, and you can find out anything you want to know about people and things because of the internet. So we are living in those last days. In the book of Daniel, 12th chapter, it talks about knowledge would be increased in those days, and it is today. And we're going into the time of the tribulation, I believe, and we're maybe already in them. Now, not even 150 years ago, roughly, there was a mini-iceage upon the earth. A lot of people have forgotten about it. You hear today of global warming. Back then it was global freezing, amen. It's roughly started like in around the 1400s, and went all the way through the 1860s, I believe. It was over 450 years of a mini-iceage. It was all over the earth. The Bible in Revelation discusses in the last days, islands be moved out of their places. The sun would be darkened. The moon would not give its light. All these things. But during this mini-iceage, there were volcanoes and things going off all over the earth. And the dust from the volcano ash was almost everywhere. And kind of sheltered the sunlight from coming through. And it got miserably cold in most places upon the earth, especially in the northern hemispheres. And it was so cold that a lot of people wouldn't come out of their homes. They'd want to stay where it's nice and warm inside. So a lot of people during that time lost their life to the plague. It was so cold, the rats even wanted to go in where it was warmer. And they carried the fleas that caused the plague. And during that time, over 1/3 of the world's population was killed during that mini-iceage from the plague. There's such a food shortage, most people, crops wouldn't grow too much above ground. Only maybe in some of the southern hemispheres of the earth. A lot of people had to turn to eating crops that would grow under the ground, such as potatoes, beets, and things in that nature. But a lot of people refused to eat those types of foods, thinking back then, because they grew under the ground, that they were of the devil. So a lot of people just refused to eat them, and the results were was death, a lot of starvation during that time. But that's when the potatoes were introduced. And a lot of you remember Ireland during that time had a potato was bad and it killed many people, thousands of people. It was a very difficult time. How would you like to wake up every day and eat a potato and be so frigidly cold that you didn't even want to go outside? Those were some terrible times. But they lasted 450 years over. And you know, it wasn't that long ago. That was what, 150 years ago. And now today, they're talking about global warming. Glaciers are melting in mass. Mass production everywhere. Glaciers are just falling off in the North Pole and other northern regions of the world and filling up the sea with more and more water. And now we hear about the solar storms from the sun. Russia's burning up. Fires and floods in China and Pakistan. Oh, even here in the United States. More and more tragedies everywhere. But you know, from a solar storm can also knock out the satellites. And we kind of depend on satellites today through our communications, the computer age and this and that. Can you imagine if the solar storms knocked out most all the satellites? What kind of disarray would this world be in? And those are the things we got to think about, like they talk about the year 2012, December. And they say God says no man knows the day or the hour. But these are the times that these tragedies can come upon this earth, like solar storms. Even talking about comets maybe hitting the earth, and global heating, warming everywhere. The sea level coming up and overflowing onto the seashores. Seas warming up so much that lose a lot of the fish and the sea life from the overheating. The Revelations talked about 1/3 of the sea, 1/3 of the earth being done away with, 1/3 of mankind. No rain upon the earth. Think about it, folks. If it was we would have the same results almost as a mini-iceage.